What's going on, fam? You're listening to Soundwave TV, transforming your video experience. I want to do a little catch-up video right quick. I want to talk about Black Panther. I want to talk about Universal FanCon, and I want to talk about Infinity War. Now, Black Panther crushed about every superhero and February box office record. So, thanks to it and Deadpool, that Valentine's Day, President's Day weekend box office is now prime real estate. Now, the action scenes in Black Panther, while not the most thrilling, were compensated by being one of the better written Marvel movies. I can definitely say that, because think about it. How many quotables do you have from other Marvel movies compared to Black Panther? You got, "Don't creep up on me, colonizer." "Don't freeze. I never freeze." Oh, well, of course, you know, Killmonger's line, "Bury me in the ocean like my ancestors because they knew that death was better than bondage." Such a G line. That's such a gangster line. Going out like a soldier. Just a, "Hey, auntie." Like all the, even the little throwaway, probably ad-lib lines just caught on. And yeah, I think, you know, Ryan Coogler definitely has his, if you had any doubts about his abilities, they're wiped out with Black Panther. Now, you probably have the strongest supporting cast. Got several breakout stars. Winston Duke, breakout star. He plays M'Baku. You know, in the comics, he's Mane, but they just went with the name M'Baku. Now, in the animated series, Mane is the one who kills T'Challa's father. And they decided to do something different. And that's kind of cool. And I want to see what his role going forward. Because Mane was one of the bad guys in the comics. So I want to see how his role will be going forward. Of course, you know, when we talk about breakout stars, of course, Letitia Wright. I mean, every scene she in, she steals it. Now, the movie plays out better as a political spy thriller and family drama than a straight-up superhero movie. So if you look at it through that lens, you'll enjoy it in a way if you're thinking about it compared to, say, like Superman or Batman or even Iron Man. Now, one of the drawbacks, I feel they kind of nerfed T'Challa in this movie, because I've been reading Black Panther for a little while. I've watched, you know, animated series on BET, just various guest spots throughout Marvel series, and he's ruthless. Like, he doesn't pull punches, and he pulls a lot of punches. I'm watching them, you know, you watch them fight for the King battle, you know, first one with M'Baku, the second one with Killmonger, and it's like, dude, knock him out. But it's like, I guess maybe they're saving stuff for the sequels. So that might be a way, but I feel they kind of nerfed him a little bit. Now, one of my favorite parts of the movie was when T'Challa goes to the spirit world and he confronts the past chiefs and tells them they're wrong. You know, it's a difficult thing growing up, finding out that the person that you admired isn't as great as you thought they were, or you found out they've made a mistake. Definitely a poignant, timely theme in a post-Cosby world. Now, I'm just my personal nitpick. I wish the battle with Claw had been the main conflict, because, you know, Claw has power over sound. Vibranium absorbs sound. That's kind of the reason he's always attacking Wakanda. And in the comics, Claw is one of Black Panther's main nemesis. With Killmonger and Claw being gone, I'm trying to think who are they going to fight going forward. T'Challa is a genius. Like he's one of the smartest people in the Marvel continuity, and doesn't necessarily need tech support. But Letitia Wright does an awesome job as Shuri, and I think they do a good job. Brian Coogler does a good job building the world of Wakanda and fleshing out a lot of the supporting characters. Of course, the Dora Milaje, led by Okoye. Masterful job done by Danai Gurira. I think she's one of the up-and-coming action stars. I think she can be the next Pam Grier going forward, because you think of her big roles as Okoye and, of course, Michonne on The Walking Dead. She's definitely got a combat. She definitely has a on-screen presence as well. Of course, you're always referring to Shuri. The dynamic between Shuri and T'Challa is sort of like between Q and James Bond. Q is very much a wise guy, but he gets away with it because he's doing so much of the heavy thinking, for the spy organization, and I think that's that's good. That's a good dynamic that they have. Now, other thing, you can't say anything about the accents in this movie. You can't say anything about Will Smith's accent in Concussion, because the accents are a little wonky. Chadwick's accent is a little French-like, and then same thing with Forrest Whitaker. It was the Black Panther has been stripped away. So, but then again, Africa has so many dialects. It's kind of hard to get a voice that's going to sound truly authentic. So you do the best you can. Now, your main villain, of course, is played, Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan. He's a villain that you can kind of sympathize with. He watches his father, be killed. His father was a traitor, but, it's still, they should have handled, what to do with the child a little bit better. Sort of like a sad, kind of like a no-win situation. So you kind of feel bad for him. But Michael B. Jordan plays Killmonger very well, but if you think about his plan, it's kind of the same take over the world, take all the weapons, let's take over the world plot, we've seen a half dozen times. But because of his rough coming up, you have a little bit of sympathy for him. I'm trying to think here, what am I saying? Yeah, Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, he wants to use the vibranium, to build weapons and attack and be the oppressors of the world. He wants to attack people in his mind are the oppressors of the world. And what am I thinking here? I see, it's got using his MIT and his Navy knowledge, but I'm trying to think, what am I supposed to see here? Yeah, you can sympathize with them, but again, your takeover of the world plot, we've seen that happen time and time before. So there you go. That's the point I'm trying to get across in the most clunky way possible. Now, I wish Killmonger's suit had been a little different in the Panther suit, because in that last fight, and again, that last fight is something I didn't pick up on until later on. Their fight for freedom for Wakanda is literally on an underground railroad. Duh, I should have picked up on that a little sooner. But I wish the fight, the suits had been a little different. A little bit of differentiation. Because you're trying to figure out, okay, which dude is which dude? Because the suits are all black. So, he's supposed to be like the Golden Jaguar, so you could put a little bit more gold on a Killmonger suit. Everett Ross, his actor did a good supporting role, as a CIA operative, giving intel, because Wakanda's trying to expand and make relationships outside to the outside world. And then again, that great line, don't sneak up on me, colonizers. It was like, become like the phrase of the year almost. Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia, she was good. She plays the spy. That's her role. And her opening scene to try to make a statement on human trafficking. And I wonder how their relationship, love interest will go going forward, because Storm is T'Challa's, his heart in the comics. So I wonder how that'll be going forward, but will be handled going forward. But what am I trying to say here? Yeah, that whole deal between Fox and Disney hasn't gone through yet, so I don't know if we'll see Storm and Black Panther on the same screen at the same time. Angela Bassett was a good choice. That look of the disgust when Killmonger shows up and says, "Hey, Auntie." So, she had a good supporting role. And I was just like drinking in the irony of the fact that this is the most technologically advanced country on the planet, Wakanda. How do we choose our leader? Street fight. I love how everyone the audience came out and showed up and showed out. People saw it multiple times. I saw it once, but I am getting it on Blu-ray and DVD next week when it comes out. If it helps somebody have a little bit more pride in, the African ancestry, or if they're an African immigrant, have a little bit more pride with themselves, and if you can get people to want to learn more about science and technology, not necessarily everyone's got to go out and be an engineer or be a computer expert, but just to have just a base knowledge to improve their life, then, again, then the whole Black Panther experience was worth it. I had to go see it first day. I didn't know Chadwick Boseman was from South Carolina, my state. He's from Anderson, so I'm glad I went out and saw it when I did. Now, I definitely have Black Panther in my top 10. I don't know if it's in my top 3. Definitely trying to think. Definitely in that top 10. I have a floating top 10, but definitely within that 5 to 1 range. I love just the blend of the futuristic and the traditional. It's sort of like Jetsons, but traditional African village at the same time, and it's just awesome. So anyway, those were my thoughts on Black Panther, the movie. Will you be getting the DVD, Blu-ray when it comes out next week? All right, let's see here. All right, let's talk about Universal Fan Con. Now, every other day, it seems like it's a train wreck into a dumpster fire. Except the fact that I've actually seen train wrecks, and people actually take responsibility for the train wreck. Unlike FanCon. In their beginning, it was supposed to be an idea to bring together marginalized groups, LGBT, disabled, women, people of color, together to do together what they couldn't do separately in the sci-fi fantasy space. You had a 2-year build-up, and it was supposed to take place the last week of April, and it just didn't happen. Only to be canceled / postponed. It's like, oh, we're going to postpone it. How? People have already bought plane tickets. You want them to buy another plane ticket and another hotel for something that didn't happen the first time around? How do you not let people know ahead of time? Like, you telling people on the 20th that this event they've been waiting for a year and a half is not going to happen until a week out. And they found out because the hotel. If the hotel hadn't sent an email talking about your thing was going to be canceled, people still wouldn't have known. And I just feel bad. One dude that was going to come to Baltimore. He came from Japan. Hello Kitty, Pokemon, Tokyo, Mount Fuji, Japan. I'm just like, bro. Now, when they started talking about this thing, I thought 3 days for a convention was a little much. Like San Diego Comic-Con started out as a one-day convention with 300 people. You can't just jump out the gate talking about you going to have 10,000 people show up to a 3-day con and nobody really knows who you are. And it's like, the people planning it should have just told people, hey, we're going to have to scale this thing back. You knew you had low ticket sales for what you were trying to do. Let people know at least by Valentine's Day. If you had let people know by at least St. Patrick's Day, give people a month, they could have gotten at least a little bit of their money back, and you could have salvaged your reputation a little bit. Now, people were comparing this to the Fire Festival, and I want people to calm down a little bit because people were actually at the location, having to fight for like stale bologna sandwiches. At least you didn't get to the location. I don't think it's that level. Now, people were saying it was a scam, and scam implies actual malfeasance, and it just seems like gross negligence. But the Kickstarter for the con and some of the sponsorships equal up to let's say 150,000. I've heard 56,000. I've heard 100,000. But let's just say it's 150,000. That's split 3-4 ways. That's barely enough for a used SUV. I don't think they would burn, the founders for FanCon would burn away all of their resources and burn away all of their goodwill for the price of a 2000 Escalade. Like, I just don't see that happening. Now, you were banking on your door to suffice for your low pre-sales. That's not gonna fly, and that's a reason why Augusta, we can't get a lot of big name acts, because we refuse to buy pre-sales for tickets. We show up at the door. But you have a lot of hubris and you think that your online presence is going to translate into real world people showing up and plunking down money. That's not the case. Just because you're internet popular doesn't mean you can be big on the Matrix, but when it comes to Zion, you're still off. Like, they were trying to get all these big name actors from The Magician Show and Killjoys, and I was trying to think Michelle Obama. I'm like, why lowball yourself? Why stop there? Just go for Oprah and Beyonce while you're at it. Michelle Obama is not coming to your rinky-dink sci-fi con. What is your deal? Now, as far as Black Girl Nerd's website, a lot of people are leaving. The writing staff is departing, and I hate it. I've met a lot of good people on the internet because of Jamie and what she did with Black Girl Nerds, and I hope every justice can be served, and everybody can get back on their feet and move on and put this chapter behind them. And I just hate because, everything I'm hearing about Jamie Broadnax now, I've just heard within the last 2 weeks. Like, this stuff is like news to me because I wasn't hearing this until beforehand. So, just hoping everybody can just move to the next chapter and just like, the big thing is, do not confuse your online presence for real life support. You need to humble yourself a little bit. Okay, all right, on to Infinity War. Now, the 6-year wait, the payoff for Thanos was worth it. Within the first 5 minutes, we know that this guy is the big bad. The Asgardians are donezo. Thanos takes out 3 Asgardian warriors and the Hulk. Now, I don't like how Marvel straight up lying to people, because you got the Hulk all up in the previews, but I saw him running the trailer in that final Wakanda battle, and Hulk is pretty much a no-show for the movie. Thanos made him his bitch. Thanos made the Hulk his bitch. There ain't no cute way of putting it. Bruce was kind of useless throughout the movie. Sure, he does all the science stuff, considering with Vision, so you kind of useless on 2 fronts, Bruce. Dang. I wanted to see Vision redeem himself because after screwing up Rhodey's legs, but he's just out there chilling with Scarlet Witch. And here's the thing. I know Scarlet and Vision are a thing in the comics, but you didn't really establish that really well in the movies. And just like, I wanted Vision to get a little bit more fighting time because he's super powerful and he gets kind of sidelined. I know you got a lot of people, but that doesn't make sense. Now, I love the back and forth between Doctor Strange and Iron Man. It's just battle of the egos, 2 really smart guys, and both of them trying to be the smartest guy in the room. And I like Doctor Strange, when he does his shadow clone jutsu thing and he makes his clones and tries to fight. And he tells them, I'm going to protect the stone. I'm on my own. But it's like, when it's time to make a critical decision, he makes the best one possible. I like Spider-Man's new suit. It's legit. I like the multiple legs. We see a little bit of spider sense. He's still too much of an Iron Man fanboy for my case, but definitely had good growth going forward. Thor's storyline is what I like the best. Like Beta Ray Bill is one of my favorite characters, so I'm glad at least his weapon is getting some presence. I mean, how is Howard the Duck have more screen time than Beta Ray Bill? But we get Stormbreaker, and I like how Thor's always like to Rocket, come Rabbit, we gotta go. And Rocket's with it. The Guardians are just so in love with Thor. Because if anybody else had called Rocket a rabbit, he'd be trying to shoot him. But he lets Thor get away with it. Thor knows he can't beat Thanos without a new weapon. So they got to go and get that Stormbreaker made. You have this huge sprawling cast, and I understand you're trying to bring all of your Marvel continuity together for the movie, but I feel you never have enough time with each group, because every time something really good happens, you're switching to a new group. And then, now, one good thing about Infinity War is that it never feels like a 2.5 hour movie. Normally, I get antsy around 1:50. So there you go. The cameos were cool. I like seeing Red Skull as Stonekeeper for the Soul Stone and Peter Dinklage as Weapons Master. I wish we would have got a little bit more backstory for the Black Order. Like, I don't think they get mentioned by name. At least Ebony Maw, he has really good psychic powers and gives Wong and Strange and Iron Man and Spider-Man a good battle in the beginning. But he's a good hype. Ebony Maw is the hype man for Thanos, and at least show how they end up joining Thanos in the first place. Now, a question I asked: do you think Infinity War is better than Empire Strikes Back? Because I think the emotional roller coaster is similar, and a lot of people who weren't familiar with the characters going into were definitely in tears. Does this movie make Thanos one of the all-time great movie villains? Like up there with John Doe from Seven, Nino Brown, Darth Vader, and the Joker. Is he on your villain movie Mount Rushmore? I like the last stand battle in Wakanda. It gave me chills. Ya Bombay, ya Bombay, ya Bombay, ya Bombay. Everyone gets ready to rock and roll. Now, I wish they didn't bump off any of the Phase 1 Avengers. Hawkeye didn't even show up. I'm like, it would have been nice to have some arrows. I don't know how good it would have done, but maybe he's going to show up in Ant-Man movie. But it'd kill off the people that I know are going to come back. Like, I know they have sequels. So it's kind of like, it kind of ruined the effect for me. Now, the big question is, who's going to stay dead? And I think everybody killed by the completed, mind you, completed Infinity Gauntlet will come back. So, everyone who didn't get dusted is going to say go up. But everybody who got turned into ash will come back. So, anyway, those are my thoughts on the Black Panther movie, Infinity War movie, and the Universal FanCon. Put your comments down below, subscribe to this channel, and click that notification bell to find out about future videos. Until next time, this is Soundwave signing off. Peace.